Experience holiday cheer at Tanger Outlets with savings up to 70% off your favorite brands. From fragrances to accessories and the latest styles, discover the best gifts for everyone on your list. Save big at Nike Factory Store, Michael Kors, Under Armour, Coach, Polo Ralph Lauren, Kate Spade New York, and so many more. Unwrap the best at Tanger Outlets. Hundreds of brands, endless gifting options. Plan your trip at Tanger.com.
That's another thing that's changed now, too. Like if you're around your house and you have Alexa or anything like that, you can just say, hey, Alexa, play Christmas music. And you got Christmas music there.
Or, Paul, you can go to the Cat Country website and get Christmas music
That's
24
true.
hours a day.
I know, you could do that. Download the app.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. Next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat. It's where it's at.
John Anderson's birthday today, so played a couple from him. It's not the best remake, but it's one of my favorite remakes because he's just so incredibly country, and to put his twang on Keep Your Hands to Yourself, I've always kind of liked. Tad chilly this morning, 23 degrees, but going to warm up, 47 today, 48 tomorrow. And I don't see any snow in the forecast, and I don't hear anybody complaining about it. I did talk to a gentleman yesterday, he's retired, and he's just waiting for it to snow. He's got his camper hooked up. He said, I just need it to snow. I said, actually, you can just go now. You don't need snow. You don't need a reason to go. You can just go. Folks, I know a little bit about farming and ranching because I work with a farmer and rancher. So I'm going to dispute the article in the Billings Gazette this morning that says hit show Yellowstone doesn't just portray ranching in Montana, it has changed it.
Oh, my gosh, Wilson.
Thank you.
What? Hasn't changed it a bit.
First, what they're doing on that TV show doesn't have much to do with real ranching at all.
How many winter scenes do they have there, Mark, in that show?
I saw one show where there was snow up in the mountains.
Oh, yeah?
But that was it.
Who wrote that? Who wrote the story?
Jeez. Doesn't say. But they did do a nice job of putting in a gallery of pictures, so I'd have to scroll through so they could put ads and more pictures in.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that is nothing.
No.
Nothing like Montana ranching. Now, there's a lot of stuff in there we wish Montana ranching was like. For instance, when the calves are born and they're 300-pounders and they get up and run to the alfalfa fields. If you don't like your neighbor, you can take him to the train station.
Boy, there's a lot of that on that show.
Be great. Well, and you know, that's exactly the reason why people come out here and they think they can pet buffalo.
It is.
You know, they're taught on TV and other shows to love animals, and they show these guys that have made friends with lions and stuff, and people think, look, if you're just compassionate and you just show them some love,
yes,
they'll be able to feel. Oh, you know what they're going to feel? They're going to feel their organ in some part of your body is what they're going to feel. That's just crazy. That is nothing like real ranching.
No.
Nothing at all.
No.
I don't know of a ranch in Montana anywhere that has a bunkhouse with about 12 employees in it that stay in there.
Right.
And supply them beer and all kinds of stuff. I don't know any ranch that does that.
Paul, that's why you can't get any help.
Apparently.
Yeah, give me one of them mini fridges with endless coolers in there, and we play Texas Hold'em poker every night.
I saw a thing on one of your posts yesterday from Chris that said, "Yeah, I'm glad you're back for a year, but now if you could just get Paul, let me help him out once in a while out there." Yeah, that's nothing like Montana, not at all. Going to be nice today, 47. That's pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
As Mark and I wrap up our year this year today. Today's our last day this year, and we always take 2 weeks off the end of December. And I want sometime today, I got to hear Celine Dion's "Oh Holy Night." I got to hear that sometime today.
Okay.
I think I got to get that in one time. That's one of my favorite Christmas songs. Every Friday, I like to come in and see what Mary Sheehy Schmo writes about. You know, the conservative paper.
The only real journalism left in our area.
Yeah, the one that you talked about last week. She's destroying the NRA and gun owners in Montana, for instance, because we buy more per capita than anybody. And Mary Sheehy Schmo, I don't know why they put her in there, from Missoula. It's former educator, all this stuff, talking about guns and the school shootings. Folks, the school shootings in America, however many she referred to, have nothing to do with the fact that we have Shield stores in Montana.
No.
Have nothing to do anything at all with the fact that we have a Shield store or we have Shipton's. Nothing. Those companies, they have nothing to do with school shootings. If so, if she's going to take that route, then she needs to do an article next week on how educators are the blame for our poor test scores.
Hear, hear.
If these places that sell guns are responsible for the school shootings, then she and every one of her counterparts and educators are the ones that are responsible for poor test scores and low proficiency ratings. You think she would disagree with that? Hell yeah. See, she's your perfect liberal. Talks out of both sides of her ass at the same time. And I can't even stand reading her from a conservative media outlet. So that's it. I quit reading it because I don't want to get in a bad mood today. I'm in a festive mood. We gave you all a Christmas gift yesterday. Had a new grandson yesterday. Doing good. Middle name Enzo. Marcus Enzo.
Okay.
Jenna wanted a strong Italian name. And she has very strong. I kind of like it, and I know you do. So don't give. I'm surprised the middle name wasn't Doyle, like you. But yeah, Mark's legacy, folks, will live on forever. Now that's great. Oh man. Had an article on there in the Air Show today. Aaron broke that story earlier in the week, and so they're coming back again. 26, big football game tonight. Cats play tonight, the Idaho Vandals. Folks, great traveling weather today.
No kidding.
I mean, 47? Jeez, you can't beat that.
Got a buddy that's going up, going to watch the game, drive back tonight. He said, "You want to see if I can get you a ticket?" I said, "You're going to go to start something that starts at, 6? And then we're going to be awake till 1 or 2 driving home."
Hey, Mark, what's more comfortable? You sitting on your couch watching it? Or they, because that's where I'm going to watch it
That's
from.
where I'm going to watch it too.
You bet. But mild weather, great weather for football, traveling. I see mild weather, they said, stymied the success rate of hunters in Region 3. That's around Bozeman. Now, here's my question. Was it the weather that stymied hunters, or was it the fact that they can't shoot, or they're too picky?
Yeah, all factors.
I had an old-timer tell me one time somebody wanted to hunt on his place, and they found a deer, and he didn't shoot it. And he said, "Well, I'm looking for a kind of a bigger buck." And he said, "A deer's a deer." And he drove him back to his car and told him to get the hell out.
Yeah.
Could you have not shot one, or were you just too picky? They never have that in any of the surveys. Some guys are like that. You know, they're horn hunters.
Right.
And most of the guys are. Whenever, folks, I've always said this in the past, whenever these guys post their pictures, they don't hold a picture of the back straps or the ribeyes up, do they, Mark?
No, they don't.
What do they hold up?
The horns.
Thank you very much.
Every time it's the horns.
It's the horns. It's not, look at the hind quarter on this thing. Nope, the horns. Okay. Biologists checked that at the check stations. Had one around Canyon Ferry, blah, 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 this and that. And by the way, colder weather and snow usually affects elk more than it does deer. But the elk harvests were fine.
Okay.
The deer harvests were down. Could be a lot of reasons for that, too. CWD, for one. Since elk harvests were up, more guys were having success with elk than deer. Maybe they didn't need the meat.
True.
And they were horn hunting that way. I mean, there's a lot of variables in there, but the elk harvests were all greater than the deer harvest. You know, you can make almost $60,000 a year and qualify for WIC or food stamps.
You're kidding.
No. You're a household of 4 and you make just under $60,000 a year. You qualify for WIC or food stamps, what we always used to call them.
Well, high school, here comes that Wilson kid with a different colored punch card because we were poor. Folks out in New Jersey are pissed because they're not getting answers about the drones. And so I don't know who the guy was that they had up speaking yesterday, but people are upset. And so now many are threatening to take matters into their own hands.
I'm guessing it was Kirby who's in charge of the intelligence agency.
Probably. He's
just a fork-tongued snake that covers Biden's ass and has been ever since he's got into that position. And folks, here you go. Here's what they said. They're not from an adversary. We're not even sure they're drones. We just think they're aircraft aircraft. Folks, aircraft can't go up and down. You're a dumbass.
You are.
They don't go straight up and straight down. Airplanes make noises. You can go out in your backyard and hear an airplane. Even a single engine Cub or a little Cessna, they make noise. These aren't making noise. If you've heard drones and how they sound, they're not making noise. They're not coming from a ship off the coast of New Jersey that could be from Iran. That's a lot of information for nothing that's not even there, isn't it? They're not Chinese.
Which tells us you're not telling us everything.
Yeah, and now everybody, they saw 20 of them again last night. Only last night they were at near LaGuardia Airport. These are just airplanes. They know what they are, and they're not telling us. They know what they are, and they're not telling us. Folks, people weren't stupid. They're not dumb. And now even the Democrats are getting on the Biden administration's butt because they want to know what it is and what the hell they are. These devices are 6 feet in diameter. They travel at times with their lights off. Like all airplanes do, John Kirby. They're 6 feet in diameter. They move up and down and can turn their lights on and off at night. You think we're stupid? You talk to us like we're in third grade. Dozens of them started last month. Last month. The number of sightings has increased in recent days. Governor Murphy said they don't appear to be threatening the public or public safety. That's because you're a stupid governor. You don't want people flying drones that aren't coordinating with the FAA and control towers and radar when you're in especially an area where there's no airplanes. New Jersey, New York, places like that. That's crazy. Congressmen are calling for the military to shoot them down, get them out of the sky, causing problems. Lloyd Austin, who's our defense secretary, called for military help dealing with the drones, noting that we do have the capability to identify and take down unauthorized unmanned aerial systems. Now, it's funny, the FBI's investigating, the FAA's investigating, and in the last week, both the FBI director and the FAA director have both turned in their resignations. That's a coinky-dink. You know, if it was a fluke, if it was something, okay, you may have one or two people say. But folks, they're getting hundreds of calls on these drones from all over, and it's been consistent since November. And it is, I think they know. They know, and they're not telling you, the American people. Once again, the shoot, shovel, and shut up from the Biden administration. And we're learning all kind of stuff about that crooked-ass guy. If they're from China, hell, they're compromised. He's been paid for 15 years by China.
Celebrate the season at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in the Roadside Event Center.
On Friday, December 13th, join them for Ugly Christmas Sweater Bingo. Then unleash your creativity at the Charlie Brown Christmas Cookie Class by Sweet Sundries on Saturday, the 14th. Wrap up the fun with Christmas movie trivia on December 23rd. Grab your friends, enjoy some drinks, and get in the holiday spirit.
It's all happening at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
You know, some of the people that he pardoned had ties to China. Did you know that? Oh, hell yeah. And get this. U.S. Senator up there from New Jersey said they should shoot him down. And this has surprised me because this is one of the dicks in Washington. This is Blumenthal. He's up from Connecticut. He said this is a national intelligence emergency. And he goes, if we don't know what they are, what they're doing, or how they're there, then we should take them out of the sky. It just isn't safe, folks. And I'll agree with Blumenthal. He's exactly right. You wait till a private airplane or something hits one of those, then there is going to be hell to pay. People are concerned because they're sharing airspace with commercial aircraft. How would you like to be a pilot? I'll bet the pilots are furious. You know, it's tough enough up there with thousands of planes. You land up there, you land 3 abreast every 60 seconds.
Yeah, true.
And now they got to start dodging drones that are at low-level altitudes as they approach all these airports. It's crazy.
Well, and there's rules for maximum height for drones anyway, and these are above that height. Breaking the rules, breaking the laws. Take them down.
John Kirby from the White House, who's the security guy, said there were no reported sightings at any restricted airspace. You're lying. You are lying. There were 20 last night around LaGuardia. There's no evidence they pose a national security threat. What do you mean there's no evidence. We have drones flying over the eastern part of the country that you and your Defense Department have no idea what they are. So how could that not be a security threat? We don't know what they are. We don't know what they're carrying. We don't know what they're doing. So, Mark, how could that not be a The only way it would not be a security threat if we knew what the drones were and if we knew where they were coming from, then it wouldn't be. But when they're not, they are, you stupid ass. Yep, that's right. Homeland Security said they're in close coordination with state police in New Jersey to investigate it. Homeland Security, Mayorkas, Alexandria Mayorkas, who has turned everything into a rat screw that he's touched in the last 4 years. The border, FEMA, Secret Service, and now they're getting him involved. By the way, Kristi Noem has been picked to run Homeland Security now.
Yes.
That's going to improve that department in a lot of ways. The agency said they haven't been able to corroborate any of the reported sightings. No, because when you have 100 people spotting and citing the same thing, that's not corroboration. What? Folks, they're just deflecting. That's all they're doing. They're just deflecting. The drones appear to avoid detection by our traditional methods. The number of sightings have been increasing in recent days. They spotted a bunch near the Picatinny Arsenal and a U.S. military research manufacturing facility. They've spotted them over Donald Trump's golf course in Bedminster, 6 feet in diameter. The lights can be switched on and off. Drones are legal in New Jersey for recreational and commercial use, but they are subject to FAA rules and regulations. Most of these are typically larger than ones used by hobbyists. Cory Booker, Democrat, New Jersey, frustrated by the lack of transparency. Well, Cory, why don't you jump your own people that you put in place there and get some answers? You approved them. You put them all in there. You voted for them, Cory. One guy said, there are big drones. Some of these are agricultural drones that you see. They're bigger. Folks, it's freaking December. How much farming is going on in New Jersey at night, Mark, with agricultural drones? Folks, you see why I have lost all hope for these dumbasses in Washington? How come a news reporter can't ask that question? I just ask a great question. Excuse me, Mr. Dussler, can you tell me how much agricultural drone use is taking place in December in the northern tier of the country at night? How much agriculture stuff is going on? I could have made him a fool. I'm just a stupid farmer, and I got better questions than these people. Some people have met with police, sightings New York City now, New Jersey, westward, parts of Pennsylvania. Public wants to know what's going on. We hope the government will come out with more information about this. It could be just the acts of rogue drone operators. Could be. It could be. But we do know for sure this. How were we able to eliminate all the other things they are not? Where did we get the information? And give us that information where they are not all of the above. We know they're not from Iran, and we know they're not from China. We know they're not from a ship offshore. We know they're not military drones. We know they're not UFOs. We know all of that, but yet we don't know what they are. We just know what they are not. We know it's nothing to do with our Defense Department, none of that kind of stuff. We know all of that. They have already told us all of that. So they've eliminated what they are not. Well, then, wouldn't that make you want to find out what the hell they are then? If you know it's none of those, you should be saying to yourself, God, then what in the hell are they, and how come we don't know what these are?
And why aren't you telling us? What are you hiding?
Wouldn't that make you want to know?
Yeah.
Well, if we've eliminated all that, then that would even accelerate your inquisitiveness about what these are, where they're coming from, and who's operating them. Hey, Merry Christmas. And, God forbid, something tragic happen up there because of one of those things. Holidays, flights are increasing, schedules are tightening up, more planes are being pushed out in tighter windows. We better hope. You'd think that would be enough incentive to get these people to get to the bottom of this in a hurry.
Right.
That's why, folks, we need a new sheriff in town. New sheriff. Surely I did. Let's see what I did here. Yeah, that's just crazy. Crazy stuff. Oh, man. Word today from the IRS. IRS said they've recovered over $4 billion in back taxes that people owed. You know, they could have recovered $4 billion, $1 million, and $300,000, but they didn't go collect hunters, did they?
No.
God, this eats one. It just eats one, Mark. Well, I'm trying to.
I haven't seen anything eat one since high school.
Well, I'm trying to be, folks, really.
Yeah.
They went out, collected all these back taxes from all these Americans, and Joe Biden and the Democrats let Hunter, they pardoned him. He doesn't have to pay his $1.3 million back. You should go into, folks, you should go into DuckDuckGo or go into Google and get some information on some of these people that Joe Biden has pardoned, and you're going to die when you see some of the people that he pardoned, and you're going to know the reasons why. He pardoned some ex-people that were convicted of spying for the Chinese. Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, why? Well, you know why. Because of the millions that his family received from China. Some of the most notorious embezzlers in the country, some around Chicago, embezzled. One guy I heard yesterday, I was listening to Levin down the hall there, and some guy in Chicago had embezzled $600 million from the people in Chicago. Got 20 years, Mark. Joe Biden pardoned him. He embezzled that money from the innocent, hardworking people of Chicago, and Joe Biden pardoned that guy.
Don't get it.
Oh, yeah. Go look. And, folks, it ain't going to stop either. I'm telling you, before he's gone, he's got, 38, 39 days? All these people and all these crooked agencies, he's going to pardon all of them. Going to pardon every one of them.
Celebrate the season at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in the Roadside Event Center.
On Friday, December 13th, join them for Ugly Christmas Sweater Bingo. Then unleash your creativity at the Charlie Brown Christmas Cookie Class by Sweet Sundries on Saturday, the 14th. Wrap up the fun with Christmas movie trivia on December 23rd. Grab your friends, enjoy some drinks, and get in the holiday spirit.
It's all happening at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill and the Roadside Event Center, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
Here's one. Elaine Lovett, Wayne County, Michigan, convicted in 2017 for her role in a multi-million-dollar scheme to defraud Medicare using false billing claims in a takedown that included 20 Detroit area doctors and healthcare workers. The $26 million scheme involved billing Medicare for services that were never provided and efforts to bypass the government probe. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison and ordered to pay more than $9 million in restitution. Pardoned.
Pardoned. Stole from the people. Stole from Medicaid. Stole from Medicare. You know, look at what happened this week. We shot a CEO of a healthcare agency. You know who pays for all that fraud and milking? You and I, and it's through higher insurance premiums.
Right.
Yeah, pardoned. God, we can't get rid of him and the Democrats fast enough, folks.
True story.
I feel sorry for the old-time Democrats out there who are just like us, except for they just differ in a few things. Mm-hmm. That's all there is, because they're just like us. They love to hunt. They love to fish. They like their pickups. They like big homes. They want to pick their light bulbs. Maybe they're just bigger pro-union people than others because they like the benefits they get from working their stuff. Okay, great. That's fine. But for the most part, they're like us. They want government cleaned up, too. That was evident, obviously, with the election results. But look what they're doing. Look who they're pardoning. It's crazy. You know, it's funny because I was thinking of this morning on the way in when I was driving into work, and I don't know why I was thinking about it, and then I found an article on it today that came up in the news. I always like to kind of think of some talking points or something to follow up on, and I was wondering how our no cell phone thing in School District 2 is working. You know, they didn't ban kids from having cell phones. They just banned kids from having their cell phone on them in the classroom.
Right.
They make them leave them at the door, which is kind of a melee when everybody leaves. And I'm sure when they get to the hallway, it's nose down, eyes down, online as much as they possibly can in that 5-minute period.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what is happening to the broadband and stuff stuff in the school hallways between classes. Remember that time we did our show? Where was that, Mark? Jamaica. We were doing our show on the internet, and there was a plane about to leave, and everybody came out into the lobby while we were doing our show, and they all got on their phones and started using the internet, and we crashed.
Yep, sucked up all the Wi-Fi.
Yep, that was it. Last time we're ever doing that. Anyway, I was wondering how that was going, and I get in today, and there's a new report out. New Pew report. Half of all American teenagers, said, this is the new survey, that they are online constantly. Constantly. Not half the day, not 3/4, constantly. Despite the concerns about the effects of social media and smartphones on their mental health. This is a new report by Pew Research. The number one most popular platform for teenagers used is YouTube. 90% said they watch videos on that site. Now, in 2022, it was 95% of all of them were on YouTube in 22. Now it's 90, but there's a reason for that. There are now other sites besides YouTube. 63% of teens use TikTok and Snapchat. X saw the biggest decline among teenage users. Only 17% said they use X. The report comes as countries around the world are grappling with how to handle the effects of social media on well-being of people. That is an important sentence because I brought that up earlier in the week when we talked about that CEO shooting, where these people, how they've become this way. There's only 3 ways. You have to be taught it, you learn it from somewhere else like social media, or that's how you're raised. It's the only way. It's, a human being is a very unique person. They have to be molded, they have to be educated, they have to learn like any other animal. Animals have to learn as they get, same thing we do. So there's only one way they can get to that point. They have either been taught it, they've learned it, social media'd it, or they were raised that way. That's it, folks. That's it. How to handle the effects of social media on our young people's well-being. So you take, for instance, that Mangino. Where did he learn all that crap? About corporate America, about medical costs, about insurance. He either taught it, or he was either taught that, learned it through social media, indoctrinated that way, or his parents were that way, and his parents weren't that way, and it affects their well-being. That's it. That's why this education thing, folks, big impact. Australia recently passed a law that banned kids under 16 now from social networks. So kind of unclear how they're going to be able to enforce it, especially when kids are at home. Meta's messaging service, WhatsApp, was a rare exception. It saw the number of teenage users increase over the last year. 23% now of all teenagers use WhatsApp. Pew also asked the kids in their survey how often they use online platforms. They said they are on them almost constantly. Constant use. Sun up, sundown. Girls are more likely to use TikTok. Girls use TikTok almost constantly. Boys gravitated to YouTube. Well, no kidding. They want to see Rihanna sing, or who's the gal? Oh, the girl that can do things with her butt that you have never seen.
Megan Thee Stallion.
That's it. That's why boys are on YouTube. Boys, I guess that's one good part of the survey is that boys still want to be boys. Yeah. I mean, that's a little something we can hope for. There was no gender difference, though, between Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. 25% of all Black and Hispanic teenagers said they visit TikTok almost constantly. Constantly, folks. Constantly. They did a survey of almost 1,400 teenagers around the country between the ages of 13 and 17 to come up with these numbers. Ooh, doggies. Hey, does anybody out there think that this could be related to part of the obesity problem that we have among children?
Oh, yeah.
It's another one. Obesity problem, which adds to what? Medical costs.
Yeah.
Which adds to what? Higher bills for hospitals, clinics, insurance companies. That's right. Higher costs, which make them do what? Charge people in America more, which make people do what? Luigi Mangino, go after CEOs because it's their fault? You see, folks, how this circle circle works? Obamacare. You're going to save $2,500 a year on your premium. And not only that, folks, you get to keep your doctor. That was bull crap. Tester knew it. Obama knew it. They all knew it. Mark and I just reworked our insurance. None of our doctors, none of the people we go to are in their network.
No.
So guess what happens if you're not in their network? They stick it up your rectum. And you pay more. But Luis Mangino doesn't know this, does he? No. He just knew what he was taught by people like Mary Sheehy Schmo in the paper. Oh, and which, by the way, the gun he got, that's the fault of gun manufacturers and all that. Yep. Nothing else. Nothing else impacted his decision to shoot that CEO, did it? Nope. Nothing else. Just the fact that we have stores that sell ammunition and guns to people who are exercising their Second Amendment rights. You see, folks, you got to dig deeper on all this stuff. So you want to get kids off the phones, like in School District 2 or other places. You know, that's great. You made one small step there. The only way you're going to do it completely is, guess what, kids? For 8 hours, you're not allowed, well, for 4, you're not allowed to have your phones in the school. Schools all over the place do it.
Ben Steele, they have to keep their phones in their lockers all day.
Good. Perfect.
The way it should be.
Absolutely.
You can spend the rest of your entire life on your phone, but you're here to be educated.
Right. And I understand that rule because of this. The kids that go to Ben Steele can't drive.
Right.
They can't put the phones in their car, all right? Other kids can leave their phones in their car, the older kids. So that's good. Leave them in your lockers all day, not in the hallway, nothing. Great. Get them off the phones for at least 8 hours of the day. This new research, constantly. Why don't educators see that? Constantly. I never did anything constantly when I was a 16-year-old boy except dream about girls.
That's right.
And we didn't have YouTube, so we looked at the real ones. And we moved. We got exercise. All these things kind of are related, though, aren't they, when you think about it? Obesity problems, mental health problems, how these kids are being taught, educated, what's being shoved in their face every day. America's greedy, corporate greed, this and that. And they have to learn it. Somebody has to teach it. And somebody has to learn it. All kind of, what's the saying? What goes around comes around. And see, the meteor showers are supposed to be out there, too. I was kind of looking around this morning because I was listening to some news, listening to those drones. So I kind of had my eye on the sky a little bit, although I don't like to divert my eyes away from the road at this time of the morning too much.
Hey, I've seen deer by the road on Dover every day this week.
Well, they know hunting season's over. They're not stupid. And but the meteor showers are supposed to be picking up a little bit. But, it's been cloudy here the last 5-6 days. So yesterday we had a little more sun. Today looks like a little more yet, which is good. But my cows are moaning out there. Tough. Keep eating. It's not time yet. Not time yet. You ought to see them, the big sissies, and they, as soon as I pull in the pickup, they all come out of round the creek bottoms and stuff where they're eating, and they come to walk down the road, go through the gate and walk up and stand right by the cake shed. Right by the cake shed, Mark, where the cake is at. They're not dumb. Nope, not time yet. Not time yet. It's getting close, though. They're getting within 60 days of calving, and they need a little extra groceries, so we're getting close. I'll start while we're gone on vacation, but get them taken care of. And let's see here. What else did I have written down? Waters. I don't know what the hell that was. Okay. Oh, yeah. One more. There's been a recall. Not on vehicles, though, this time. And this is the Stanley Switchback and Trigger Action stainless steel travel mugs, sold in the United States because of a potential burn hazard. The mug's lid threads can shrink when exposed to heat and torque, and that could cause the lid to possibly detach while you're drinking your coffee. And if the lid would detach and come off, you could possibly get burned by the stuff in your coffee mug. So they're recalling 2.6 million of those. Thank you, ambulance chasing lawyers. Thank you. 50 years ago, there were never recalls.
No.
Not one for anything. Never. Folks, we used to leave coins in a dish, hard candy on the counter. Nope, all choking hazard now. None of that stuff can be used. But so if you have one of those Stanley cups, they're going to recall it. And they said it's resulted in 38 injuries worldwide because the lid came off. 16 of those injuries have been in the United States. Stanley mugs include the 12-ounce, 16-ounce, and 20-ounce sizes with the polypropylene lid. Stanley logo appears on the front and bottom of the mug. They're sold on Amazon, Walmart's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Target, and other stores. Consumers are advised to stop using that travel mug. So there you go. If you got one, I guess you could take it back. I wouldn't screw with that.
And most won't.
You know, they were $20. Everybody will pitch it, or they'll just keep using it anyway, you know, and take their chances. But thought I'd throw that in there in case some of you have one of those. Be careful.
Okay, we'll get rolling. Final first news of the year coming up, 6:15.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.